In this day and age, we all have concerns about protecting our own personal information. Well, as employees of Knox County Schools, we are also responsible for protecting the personal information of our students. In this video, we'll identify the difference between directory and non-directory information on the student record. We'll better understand how the FERPA law is used to protect student information. We'll be able to describe the different types of data requests that we might get at the school level. And we'll be able to describe how to manage those vendor or school organization data requests. Next, we have to determine exactly what is student data. The answer to this question may surprise you. Educational records can be a variety of things that are maintained by the school in any recorded way. This includes, but is not limited to, handwriting samples, print, artwork, computer media and apps, or video or audio recordings. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act is a law that was enacted to ensure educational records are kept private and also to provide timely access to these records for parents and legal guardians. FERPA states that educational records are absolutely private. The only person who can authorize discussion and sharing of educational records is the student's parent or guardian, or an eligible student if they're 18 years of age. As stated in FERPA, student data is considered private information. As educators, we should only discuss and view educational information with a parent, legal guardian, or the student. Collaboration among educators is perfectly acceptable, as long as there's an educational purpose. Discussion with personnel that do not have an educational purpose is not acceptable. An example of this would be a lunch table discussion in the teacher's lounge. Of course, there are always outside agencies that have educational purpose as well, such as KCS and TDOE. Please consult with your principal if there is any question about access to student data. Oh, we all receive phone calls and emails from parents requesting information. Principals should communicate school procedures regarding acceptable methods of communication with parents or guardians. We're happy to provide some recommendations for communication procedures. For phone calls, use information contained in Aspen to verify the person you are speaking with. This can be unique information such as the student's date of birth, the mother's maiden name, or the primary contact email. Make sure the person requesting the communication is marked as the primary contact in Aspen, and they're also marked to receive information on the contact record. For email communication, use only the email address recorded in Aspen to communicate with the parent or guardian. And if you're still not sure, have them come into the school with identification. Schools do business with many third-party entities. These third-party entities may occasionally request student directory information. FERPA and Knox County Schools Board Policy J552 provide for the sharing of directory information with approved third parties. This information can include the student name, the student address, the home phone, the student email address for students age 13 and over. This does not include the parent contact email address, the student date of birth, grade level, sports participation, and honors and awards received. Parents always have the option to refuse the release of this information to third parties. So exactly what is a third party? A third-party organization is any type of organization that does some type of business in partnership with the school, but it is managed by non-school personnel. Examples of third parties that are very common to school function. Any vendor doing business with the school, like photographers, yearbook companies, or class ring sale companies. School support organizations that are not managed by school personnel. Examples of this would be a PTA, PTSO, or a school foundation. Military recruiters also have the ability to request directory information since we are federally funded. Software applications that require student data. Student information should not be given to any third party at the school level. Third parties that have directory information needs can make a request to data@knoxschools.org. These requests made in writing to data@knoxschools.org will be responded to with a confidentiality agreement that they will be required to fill out. Families with opt-out choices will be eliminated from the list provided to the vendor. This includes school photographers, yearbook companies, and other typical school vendors. Schools often choose to purchase software for student or teacher use. This example is different from a regular third-party data request because the educational records are actually going to be maintained by the software vendor. This includes teacher use apps, test prep software, and other classroom software applications. These companies must be vetted prior to purchase to make sure they are in compliance with the Knox County Schools data privacy standards. Please contact the Knox County Schools Technology Department at data@knoxschools.org prior to making any software purchases. When you have conversation with your software companies prior to purchase, these are some questions that you might want to ask. Does the software require student or staff data? Does the software company have a privacy policy that addresses FERPA in their contract or purchasing agreement? Does the software company have a secure way to exchange data? And then, of course, make sure you contact the technology department prior to purchase, data@knoxschools.org. In conclusion, we'd like to finish with some best practices. For administrators, route all third-party data requests to data@knoxschools.org. Create and communicate a staff awareness concerning student data privacy. Never share your login information to the student information system with anyone. And never leave your screen logged into the student information system when you're not at your computer. Teacher best practices include the following. Never post grades en masse on the wall, even with a unique student number attached, as that number is protected information. Discuss students and their information only with others that have an educational purpose. Do not share student phone numbers with PTA, PTSO, or release other student or contact information to third parties. Never share your login information to the student information system with anyone. And of course, our secretaries that field a lot of calls from the public. Please route all third-party data requests to data@knoxschools.org. Use a verification process to identify the person receiving the student information. Never share your login information to the student information system with anyone. And don't leave your screen logged into the student information system when you're not at your computer. By following a few simple guidelines, student data with Knox County Schools will be protected. For questions related to student data privacy, please contact the Knox County Schools Technology Department. data@knoxschools.org.